The world stood on a precipice, teetering between peace and global conflict. The United States and the Soviet Union, once allies in the fight against fascism during World War II, now faced each other as bitter rivals in a new kind of war. This was the Cold War, a period marked by intense geopolitical tension and ideological battles. It was a clash of ideologies, capitalism versus communism, democracy versus authoritarianism. Each side believed in the superiority of its own system and sought to prove it to the world. The stakes were incredibly high, with the future of the world hanging in the balance. Both superpowers possessed nuclear weapons, capable of causing unprecedented destruction. The threat of mutually assured destruction loomed large, ensuring that any direct conflict could lead to catastrophic consequences for all of humanity. Mistrust and suspicion ran deep, with each side constantly on guard against the other. Each side sought any advantage it could gain, no matter how small, in this high-stakes game of global chess. Espionage became a crucial tool in this high-stakes game, with spies risking their lives to gather vital information. In this atmosphere of tension, the U.S. embarked on covert operations to penetrate Soviet airspace, seeking to uncover the secrets of their adversary. They wanted to gather intelligence on Soviet military capabilities, to understand the true extent of the threat they faced. The U-2 spy plane, a marvel of engineering and a symbol of American ingenuity, became their tool of choice in this dangerous mission. It could fly at altitudes exceeding 70,000 feet, far above the reach of most conventional aircraft. This was thought to be beyond the reach of Soviet defenses, making the U-2 an invaluable asset in the intelligence war. The U-2 carried sophisticated cameras, capable of capturing high-resolution images from great heights. These could capture detailed images of Soviet military installations, airfields, and industrial sites, providing the U.S. with crucial insights into Soviet capabilities and intentions. The Cold War was a time of constant vigilance, where every move was scrutinized, and every action had the potential to escalate into a full-blown crisis. Yet, amidst this global tension, life went on. People continued with their daily routines, often unaware of the high-stakes drama unfolding behind the scenes. Governments on both sides prepared their citizens for the worst, conducting civil defense drills and building fallout shelters, hoping to mitigate the impact of a potential nuclear war. Despite the pervasive fear, there were also voices calling for peace, urging the superpowers to find a way to coexist without resorting to war. The Cold War left a lasting legacy, shaping the world in ways that are still felt today. It was a time of division, but also of resilience and hope for a better future. May 1st held immense significance in the Soviet Union. It was International Workers' Day, a day of parades, speeches, and displays of national pride. On this day, the Soviet people celebrated their achievements. They reaffirmed their commitment to the communist ideology. Little did they know that this celebratory day would be forever etched in history for a different reason. A day when the Cold War's shadow loomed larger than ever. A day when the skies above their nation would become a stage for a dramatic confrontation. The U-2 was a remarkable feat of engineering. It represented a leap in aviation technology, pushing the boundaries of what was possible at the time. Developed by Lockheed's Skunk Works, a secretive division known for its innovative designs, the U-2 was unlike any other aircraft of its time. The team at Skunk Works was tasked with creating an aircraft that could fly higher and farther than any other, and they delivered spectacularly. It was designed for a single-purpose high-altitude reconnaissance. This mission required the U-2 to be both incredibly light and incredibly strong, able to withstand the rigors of near spaceflight. Its slender fuselage, massive wingspan, and powerful engine allowed it to soar effortlessly at the edge of space. The design was so efficient that it could glide for long distances, conserving fuel and extending its range. At altitudes exceeding 70,000 feet, it operated in a realm where the air was thin and unforgiving. Pilots had to wear pressure suits similar to those used by astronauts to survive the extreme conditions. This was far above the reach of most Soviet interceptors and surface-to-air missiles. The U-2 could fly over hostile territory with relative impunity, gathering crucial intelligence without the constant threat of being shot down. This gave the U.S. a significant intelligence advantage. The data collected by the U-2 was invaluable, providing insights that were previously unattainable. The U-2's primary asset was its sophisticated camera system. These cameras were capable of capturing incredibly detailed images from high altitudes, allowing analysts to see things that were invisible to the naked eye. This could capture high-resolution images from incredible distances. The clarity and detail of these images were unmatched, providing a clear picture of enemy activities. This allowed the U.S. to monitor Soviet military activities with unprecedented detail. They could see the layout of military bases, the movement of troops, and the deployment of equipment. They could identify missile sites, track troop movements, and assess Soviet capabilities. This information was crucial for making informed decisions about national security and military strategy. The information gathered by the U-2 was vital for U.S. strategic planning during the Cold War. It provided a clear and accurate picture of the Soviet threat, allowing the U.S. to respond effectively and maintain a strategic advantage. The Soviet Union was far from defenseless. They had developed a sophisticated air defense network designed to counter the growing threat of American bombers and reconnaissance aircraft. The vast expanse of Soviet airspace was dotted with radar installations, providing early warning of any intrusion. The Soviets had also deployed a range of surface-to-air missiles, capable of engaging high-altitude targets. They were constantly upgrading their defenses. Among the key figures tasked with protecting Soviet airspace was Major General of Aviation Yuri Vladimirovich Solodovnikov. He was a highly decorated officer, known for his tactical acumen and unwavering dedication. Solodovnikov commanded the Soviet Air Defense Force's fighter-interceptor aviation, and played a pivotal role in coordinating the response to the U-2 incursion. On that fateful May Day in 1960, a lone U-2, piloted by Francis Gary Powers, a seasoned CIA pilot, embarked on a mission that would change the course of history. Powers was no stranger to high-stakes missions, having flown numerous reconnaissance flights over hostile territories. This mission, however, was different. It was a bold attempt to gather critical intelligence on Soviet military capabilities, a task fraught with immense risk. His target, the heart of the Soviet Union. The mission was to photograph key military and industrial sites deep within Soviet territory, providing the U.S. with invaluable information during the height of the Cold War. His flight path took him over sensitive military installations. These were areas heavily guarded and of utmost importance to the Soviet defense strategy. The U-2's high-altitude capabilities were supposed to keep it out of reach of Soviet defenses. Soviet radar picked up the U-2 as it crossed the border. The sophisticated radar systems of the Soviet Union were on high alert, constantly scanning the skies for any sign of intrusion. Alarm bells sounded, and the order to scramble interceptors went out. The Soviet military was quick to respond, mobilizing their air defense forces to intercept the intruding aircraft. Among the pilots who took to the skies that day was Senior Lieutenant Mikhail Voronov, a skilled interceptor pilot flying a MiG-19. Voronov was known for his precision and bravery, qualities that made him a formidable opponent in the air. He received orders to intercept the U-2 at all costs. The gravity of the situation was clear. The U-2 had to be stopped to prevent it from completing its mission. He flew towards the intruder, determined to fulfill his duty. The mission was perilous, but Voronov's resolve was unwavering. He knew the importance of his task and the potential consequences of failure. However, the U-2's superior altitude proved to be a significant challenge. The aircraft was designed to fly at altitudes beyond the reach of most interceptors, making it a difficult target. Voronov's MiG-19 could not reach the altitude needed to engage the U-2. Despite his best efforts, the limitations of his aircraft became apparent. The U-2 soared high above, seemingly untouchable. But the Soviets had other plans in motion, and the fate of the U-2 was about to take a dramatic turn. The downing of the U-2 sent shockwaves through the international community. The Soviets, initially claiming to have shot down a weather plane, triumphantly revealed the wreckage and announced the capture of the pilot. This public humiliation dealt a severe blow to the United States and President Eisenhower.